All right. I think that says that we are live. Does it say we're live?
Everyone, I think
Hello, everybody. It says we're live. We're just talking amongst ourselves. If y'all could have joined this conversation, you'd have really dug it, man, because we were like into the stuff, man. So let's just speak favor to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We just say, Bosto, be of service to others. Love yourself. Happy birthday if you got one. And we are prospering, and this is a second look. And you know my co-host, Miss Trina Phoenix. So welcome. Hello,
hi everyone.
Trina. What's up?
Oh, just loving spending time with you and the Soul Tribe, and hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't.
I hear
And
you
yeah,
fine.
just waiting to dive into this topic because it's yummy. It's just yummy.
Yeah, we were having a great discussion, y'all. So just hello to everyone in the chat room. Hello, Nina. I put your link, by the way, Nina, in the description. So enter yourself to win. That's what I say. Winning's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
How you break a losing streak is by getting your first winning streak.
True.
True. That was free of charge. Hey, Jules, what's happening, girl? Good to see you.
Funny.
Who
Once you
else?
win, once you win, you hold that frequency
You do. You
and you can
absolutely do.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
that's a gift. Nothing's real till you feel
Yeah.
it. When you feel it, you have the vibration. It's like a frequency code connection. So that's your bridge to bring in more. It's a beautiful thing that I'm seeing. Frequency.
In my past, I owned my own sports marketing company, and we were heavily involved in NASCAR. And one of our clients was Richard Petty. And the interesting thing about Richard Petty is that, and Dale Earnhardt had the same mental attitude. They went into every race in their minds, they won the race. That didn't mean that many times they didn't, but it was their attitude.
That's the way you make things work. It's
Yeah.
Truly it is, because the thought plus the feeling is the electromagnetic part of us, and that's the part that's going out to the world. So even if you're like telling yourself one thing but you're not believing it, you're not feeling it, it won't work because it cancels itself out. So you have to feel it as though it's already yours. It's true when they say this. See the outcome. Don't even get involved in the journey. Just see the outcome, because the higher powers of the universe will work out the details. You just see the outcome and focus on what that feels like, because that's the vibration that has to be met. It's the feeling part. The thought is one layer, but the feeling is the part that makes it manifest, because that's the magnetic part that draws it from the universe into your reality, because it's just a reality bubble of your own consciousness operating in a reality field.
It's true. I mean, I know a number of billionaires, not bragging about it. I just do. It was just part of my vocation in my life journey. And, every one of them to a T, it's instinctive to them.
Yes.
Winning. They
Yes.
don't see yes, and the possibility of all things, you have that potential. But the potential, as many of us know in our life journeys, all of us are born with great potential. Few ever reach their full potential.
Yes.
And
I think we come in here with a great plan for
mm,
our incarnations. I think we have a great plan. I think we have a basic like script of what we came here to do. I do, because I saw my contract, Wayne. I saw myself creating my incarnation, and it
so
was
let
coming
me
up.
be the advocate on the other position of that, because see what that implies then, as you and I were talking before we went live, is the whole aspect of the soul.
Yeah.
And as anyone who studies eschatology will readily realize very quickly, the vast majority of all scripture dealing in the journey of life, then into the afterlife of death, and that's how they frame it. The afterlife is the land, the living dead. I think it's just reversed. But here's the point. So if, let's say, as you just said, that we have a contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I challenge that with the aspect that from everything that I have read, the soul is born at the same time of the body. That the soul, we get this idea that the soul enters into the body, but I don't know if that's true, because it would appear that the spirit may have the contract, but I don't think the soul is bound by it, because the soul is bound by the body.
I see the soul is the connection between the two, spirit and matter. So
when do you see that the soul is created, actually, the creation of the soul?
I think it's created in the higher levels of the dimensions, and it's basically a vehicle, is what I see it like, almost like a spaceship or a character. It's a vehicle or a body, and you create this body in the higher dimensions, and that becomes the soul, and the soul is a vehicle that connects to the spirit part, because like Adam wouldn't rise until the spirit was breathed into his nostrils. It's like, yeah,
But it says that, but it specifically says that he had a living soul, implying that there must have been a soul prior to this thing that took place, that it became a living soul.
Yes. Like I said, I think that's about the blending of the spirit and the soul. And I could be wrong, but that's what I see. That
I don't know if any of us have it figured out until we get
it's
over there.
Magic, and it's a magic between visible and invisible creation. So it brings the invisible into visible potential. Like the spiritual part, I don't think that it's invisible. I think it's pure consciousness. But the soul is like the capsule. It's the matter part, it's the mother part, it's the material part, it's the part that creates sound and vibration in these dimensions. So I see the soul being created through the emotional and causal bodies of the auric field, which still is part of you when you get out of your physical body. I don't see that part of you dropping. I see you're still wearing your body suit of your energy body. So I think the energy body is soul, but the soul part is emanating in these lower dimensions, which has to take on a material realm form, which is this visible light spectrum. So I see the spirit connects to the soul so that it has consciousness, awareness.
Is the soul sovereign?
Oh God, that's a great question. I think it is, but I think you get tricked into giving your sovereignty away.
I mean, think about it. The idiom, he sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
She has no soul. You've heard those expressions.
Yep.
And so as you're describing that, because it really comes down to that issue, if the soul is sovereign, mm-hmm. then that would imply that there is this symbiotic relationship between not only just the soul and what we would call the spirit, but apparently the soul and the physical body, which tells me that maybe the spirit is not capable of that. I mean, depending on what your point of view is, there are some that says that we are trapped spirits, that in essence, as Lucifer said, that when your spirit departs, your soul attaches to it.
Yes, I can see that could be true.
And if you read in all the judgments, regardless of what genre of religion it may be, mm-hmm. it's the soul that's paying the price. It's the soul, not the spirit.
Nope.
And in fact, in the book of Hebrews 4:12, it says that the word of God is powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, able to cut asunder the spirit and the soul. the
Yes.
bone and the marrow.
Wayne, when I started reading that stuff was when I started saying, wait a minute, spirit and soul are two different things. I never even had that concept before. And then that's when I started realizing, and I was like, wait a minute, these are two different things. Then I started diving into the energy body. And I'm like, okay, what is this energy body? Is this spirit or soul? And I kept getting, it's both, but it's primarily soul.
Well, even in the
There's
book
a
of
part
John,
of
it says that for the saving of your soul.
yes.
My little children, I pray that you prosper even as your soul prospers.
Yes, because I think
I
it's like
mean,
it's like a cell of a body, and if it becomes diseased or too dark, the body eventually will kill it off and slough it off and remake it, because energy can never be killed, it can only be transformed. So it just changes, it goes into antimatter and starts over. That's what I
what
see.
if the soul is nothing more than as I contended yesterday, and I've been really, my deep thinking has been on this. So if we are gods, goddesses, which I do believe we are,
Yes.
I've read that through a number of different belief systems. So the epiphany that came to me was that, who I see as Trina,
Mhm.
I see your physical essence. I see your energy. I know your energy by the words, how you express, and then how your body is adaptive to the expression of what I consider to be your soul. I see the soul surrounded by what we call the aura of the essence of the true spirit being, but that spirit being is encapsulating the soul while the spirit is in contact with the physical realm. Now, if we are in fact able to create, then the greatest creation that we are creating is us.
Absolutely. I
My
came to
wife and I talked about it, and it blew
yeah,
her away. She said,
yeah.
I never thought about this.
When that hit me, that was mind blowing for me. Wasn't what I thought about. Okay, so if I'm a thought form out of the creative mind of the creator of all that is, that means I am that. It's
Because isn't that what
way.
what we get this concept of Adam and Eve? Isn't that which was in the image of God was not the spirit, but it was the soul?
Yes.
And though, so we spend a lifetime creating in our image. This is R. Wayne Steiger. I have
Yeah.
spent 66 plus years creating this being. This being has personality. This being is both strong, both weak. It is both good and it's both bad, but it's unique within itself. I
Yeah.
don't know if the question really would come in the form of what we could say a judgment. Would it be, would we have the capacity, or is it what we have the capacity of being able to set our souls free?
You know what, Wayne? Oh wow, it's so
I mean,
crazy.
think about this. You're
I
giving
did
birth,
this
creation to a
morning.
new entity, Trina.
Which is wow. I just like wow, because okay, this morning what I was seeing was okay. I literally heard all so what's going to happen? It's like, okay, what's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? What's going to happen with this? I was asking, what do you see happening with these different things we're potentially looking at? And you know what he said? All of it will happen.
Mm.
I was like, whoa, what do you mean all of it will happen? He says, all of my children see a different reality out their eyes. Therefore, I will experience all of it because I am all of it. I was like, oh, smack. So it's going to be so different
I
for
mean, we
all
are
everyone.
experiencing the same
Yeah.
reality, are we not? But I see it
Yes.
differently than you see it.
Yes, exactly. And he was like, as the all, I will experience it all. I will experience it as the child. I will experience it as the soil. I will experience it as you. I will experience it as your neighbor. I will experience it all. I was like, I will experience every religion. I will experience every belief system. I will experience every economic
But
status.
aren't you speaking of yourself, not of a construct that is, as I was meditating today? I no longer see anything as a God
Right.
because God is finite.
Yes. It's
I
fine.
have been able to, and it's beyond my apprehension right now, but that force. And it is, I guess the best way to say it, it is a force. It's not a personality. It's not a personification. It's above that.
I see it as an awareness. It's aware of itself, and it is a consciousness beyond our imagination because it's everything.
Well,
And
see,
that,
it tells me that it when it sees me, it's joy.
yeah, that's yes,
I mean,
yes,
it's what it tells me. My
yes, you're
spirit guide
right.
was teaching today. I was in class, and the topic of sin came up. So if you have this religiosity mindset, you're in the duality, you're in sin, you're in, forgiveness, you're in repentance, because you are by nature sinful.
Yeah, separate. I
And
just saw separation in. You've been
yeah, you're
separated and placed into the serpent system. They separated you to put you into a specific where you don't remember that you're all of it. Yeah.
yeah. And so I rose my hand in class and I said, but I have an objection to that with sin, this whole idea of sin. Because if you read the Gnostic Gospels, that the Nag Hammadi,
Yeah.
in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, Jesus actually says there is no sin.
Yes.
The only sin that there is what you see inside of you.
Absolutely. So if you don't have the belief in yourself to know that this is all observations of the grand creator's design, and you're part of that observation plan as a
Mm-hmm.
thought concept that birthed out of that creative source, but as a creation birthed out of that source, you have that in you. So you have the potential of the all within you as the all that created you. It's such a profound thing. So what we experience is going to be a direct result of our consciousness. And there
Yeah,
will be
because if you think about it,
no other way.
Lynn and I were talking, and I was just kind of repeating the show yesterday. And I said, but hun, here's the thing. We know archaeology, anthropology, that the anthropologist shows that Homo sapiens have been around for at least 200,000 years. We could definitely say 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hun, I said, so what God were they worshiping 100,000 years ago? There was no Jews.
No.
There were no Hindus.
Nope.
I mean, I can just go right down the list. So who was the cat that was up in the top seat? And I said, this is the problem. Mm-hmm. It's this will, there's on Amazon Prime, there's the Wheel of Time. It talks about the sacredness of how time is controlled by a will. And it's it's mind-blowing series. If you've ever had. Hello, Jenny, how you doing, dear? Hey, Guy, everyone. We're so in deep in this conversation that we're not ignoring y'all. It's just when my wife gets really intense on these thoughts, because as she said, it's very interesting because she said, I came into this world. So she said, look at the occupation I chose, a nurse. And I said, well, hon, it's very obvious that you're a spirit of healing. You what we would term a healing spirit.
Yes.
And she stopped and she said, I never considered that.
Yeah, you know what word I just heard in my head? Good Samaritan. In the genetic code. Good Samaritan in the genetic code. They want to help and heal. They're the healers, the helpers, the teachers, for the children.
Yeah. And she's been a healer for, I won't say how many years because she'll smack me, but probably many more than many of you have been alive. But anyway, yeah. And it's interesting because the value that I see as I have been allowed, and that's the only thing I can say, I don't know when my departure date is.
Right.
I used to be afraid of death. Now I look at it as a great expectation of the next part of this journey.
Me too.
Yeah.
And destination self. I want to find if there's any other bodies that I have. I need to.
And that's an interesting thing. So how many have you created?
Well, and I really do think that a lot of this system gone wrong was because I think that this was a learning playground. It was created for our benefit to evolve souls. I really do think that's very much the reason originally All of this was put into place, but it's been hijacked and overlaid with dark forces. And we are now at a place where we can finally break through that, because we understand how we've been utilized and placed under control through these frequency cages.
Well,
So
what if the capture is the essence of the fact that there really is no central Hebraic God that created anything, but what really is happening here is that we're the creators?
yeah, because we're the consciousness.
So I consider, Trina, that my spirit has no beginning.
Yeah,
It
I
has no
would
end.
totally agree. Absolutely would agree. Absolutely would agree.
But that would imply, are you ready for this?
Hmm.
I have probably created a whole planet of my own beings.
I believe that totally.
If reincarnation exists, then it's existing simply for the fact of creating what would be a thought form, a living thought form.
You know how it says you can't get home to the Father till you go through the Son? Well, yeah, but everybody thinks it's the sun that we see right here, or it's the sun they talk about in the Bible. No, it's none of those. It's you. You better find your own sun, because that's what I saw. The first thing that came out as me was joy, and it looked like a star, and it looked like a sun. It was a bright light ball sun, and it
So
literally can create out of it anything, anything.
seeking truth, high five on you, break on through the other side. I hear Jim Morrison.
Right?
Yeah.
Break
But
down through.
so it's interesting in this aspect because we're here. And I think that we're, as I said yesterday, if this core group could really get to the knowing, not the believing, the knowing, that
Yeah.
if we were to speak a single unified set of words,
Yes.
and we each day did this, that the first thing that what we did when consciousness comes back into these bodies, that we utter out this, whatever it would be. Because
Yeah.
as you and I were talking, sound is light. Lucifer taught us that. Lucifer said that sound creates light.
Yes.
And that the universe was created on sound.
Yes.
Which means if sound was most likely before light.
Yes.
This gets deep.
The unseen part of creation is always before the visible. Yes.
So this gets real interesting because we've always had it backwards. We think that light is at the top tier. Yeah.
Right. Everything's flipped around.
It's flipped around. Yeah. It's,
backwards.
you know,
Shit.
it's like, you know, in the movie Doom, you know, fear is a word.
Yeah.
A word is the mind killer. Fear is the mind killer of the, and it's all focused in on, you know, the word. And Paul Atreides, as we all know, had the gift of his name. The sound brought death.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, you know, so I've been this, all this is coming in, and I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
Because you see, I believe, I am so grateful for the decades of the indoctrination that I went through. It was an initiation.
That's
But
right.
one of the lessons I learned, Miss Trina, was this. I know the importance of my words. And now I know its frequency that I'm emanating.
Abracadabra.
There you go, right at you.
Oh, straight on.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. I speak, therefore I create. It's sound. Sound creates the light. Everything that is energy is simply light slowed down into a vibratory state to which it can form into matter. But light and matter are the same.
Oh, this gets deep because that brings on, you know, you were, you know, I were talking before, y'all could have heard this conversation. So emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion is a direct response to what I would call the vibration, that sound that, for instance, imagine if you had a like, and I have to choose my words correct clearly here because I'm involved in something that so Your body responds to stress. It responds to excitement,
Yes.
joy.
Mhm.
And it's real interesting because a crying baby,
Mhm.
that sound automatically, depending if you're a mother or if a male, but it still has the same alarm. If you hear a crying baby, you know the baby's in distress.
Yes. It's so weird. I saw a YouTube little clip on the other day. Apparently, even the animals, a deer heard a baby crying out on a back patio on a cabin, and the deer came out of the woods to make sure the baby was okay.
Interesting.
Even animals respond to the cry of an infant child.
Hmm.
Yep.
And and now with live births at home, um, music plays a real factor, because if the mother is much more relaxed, she's not going to send that emotion into the child. Oh, this gets deep.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. Could you imagine if we could play the appropriate sounds while women were birthing that could cancel out the pain frequencies
well,
and
you were saying
spread
about
that out?
528, right?
528 is the love frequency, and that activates the full rainbow color of the sound wheel. So the 528 frequency, when it is hit, it activates a color wheel of sound, the full circle, and it's only with 528, which they say is the frequency of the love vibration. So 528 is also representative of the heart chakra, and that color is representative of green. But when that vibration is struck, it literally produces a rainbow of sound in a perfect color. And not one other frequency out of the thousands they recorded did this.
Now it's
Oh,
interesting because you and I talked about this earlier, and I want to get back into it. So the correlation of love is
mhm.
green,
It's
but
healing. But I
okay,
think but I
healing.
think it's the center of the color wheel, and that's why all colors can birth out of it, because it's the center between heaven and earth. This is the gate in the body between heaven and earth. Heart chakra, green, 528, heart. So this is where you have the power of the masculine invisible and the feminine material in one unit, because this is an electromagnetic field chakra. The most powerful magnetic part of you is your heart.
And
So this,
isn't green and blue makes green
I think so.
on the color wheel? I think I'm read that right.
Green and blue and yellow makes green.
Green. Okay. So
Yeah, I think that.
um
I
Martin
don't.
says that's why I have a 528 hertz tattoo on my arm. And the rainbow is always beautiful. I love that.
Yes.
Um,
And
so
that's what I think the rainbow warrior prophecies are, is because, it's always about bringing heaven to earth, shifting and raising your vibration. We're going to be the warriors of the rainbow warriors, because we bring the bridge, the light bridge, the rainbow bridge from heaven to earth. Well, the only way that that's going to be done is if you make a full circle. And the rainbow bridge is that sound circle, and it's the love vibration. It's 528
I
hertz.
say we're going to have to redefine what heaven is, because I don't know
Right.
what heaven is.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think I think it's basically it's just it's more of a
oh, it's
balance.
Heidi. All right,
More of a
Heidi.
balanced reality where
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
lighter. It's not so dense. Mhm.
David Barry said there is an app on Google Play Store for riff frequencies, and it has an extensive list of frequencies of which condition it can help. That's
Yeah.
interesting. And
Yeah.
it's the idea as well, is that, you know, the healing equating to green, because, in our culture, love is equated to red. But
Yes.
yet red is equated to blood, and blood is most likely equated to, many times, the god of war.
Yes. But it's also directly associated with blood, which is life, and it's the DNA codes. So it's like it's also, like I said, it's how we get into the material realm is due to the blood. That's the water into wine. To come into this realm, you have to go into the wine. You have to go red.
Well, I did a thing, is, the years ago, and it's in the archive somewhere, but the aspect is that most humans, unless it's through a C-section, but even then it's through the veil of blood. And that's how we enter in. And that to me is the unknown contract. It's the way back in the day, there was a pastor. I was his personal aide for a while, Rick Shelton. And Rick had probably the greatest insight of the blood covenant, of what is really being done here, and why blood and the shedding of blood, there is a blood covenant that we all partake of as we pass through the veil of blood, which is the birthing canal.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is and remember in Rick's series, this almost 40 years ago, but the fact was that there's an inherent contract that is implied by this. And this is why you'll see Native Americans who used to have the blood covenant. They would be blood brothers. It was, and women share much of the same type of cultures. It was the mixing and the sharing of blood that made the covenant what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made you family.
It did. And it's one where, the covenant today, the handshake, that's really where it comes from, the handshake, and it's lost meaning today. But in order for me to shake another person's hand, if we were making a blood covenant, what it meant was, and this is interesting. So in the times of Abraham, this is how two families would come together. The patriarchs of each family would come together. Now, here's the interesting thing. The matriarchs did the same, but the males basically were the ones who formed the contract. And what would happen is that they would draw a circle, and it was the length of my hand reaching your hand. And we would embrace each other's hand like this. As we walked around the circle, we would do it 3 times in reverse, 3 times forward. And what you and I would say is that my blood is now your blood. That which I have is now yours. Yes. That which I have and possess is now your possessions. And you would say the same thing as we were walking. Then we would take a knife, and the custom would be is that when we slit each other's palms, that then we would do the same thing, making covenant, giving my life for your life. My family will be forever your family. Because and that's where the covenant came in.
The blood, because of the mixing of the blood. Yeah. So yeah, this is it. The contracts here, I think you've just identified it. It's literally going from the light into the material realm, which is a blood. You're going into a blood covenant. You are. It's
interesting, I think, as we're talking, Trina, because my mind goes back to this now. When I was in what you would call Bible school, and I was very heavily involved in the ministry, the thing that as I see now and I look back, it's almost as if my spirit was stepping out of the scene. It's like, hey, listen, your soul needs to go through this, because some people's soul seek the spiritual. There are other souls who don't. It's not important to them. To me, it's everything.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
And that's why most of us are in this group, this soul tribe. We're all on the same journey.
Yeah, it's a pulling in your own inner spirit. You can't stop. It's like something's not right. You're constantly looking for truth. You know that there's a deception because you can feel it. I mean, I was born with that wisdom. 3 years old, I knew that the adults around me didn't know as much as my spirit guide, and that scared me. Or my invisible friend, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that scared me to think that, wow, people don't even know what's going on down here. And I knew straight out of the gate when I was so young, something was not right, and that I couldn't remember what was wrong. And that alarmed me because I knew I couldn't remember what was wrong. So it was.
So as you were talking, now this thing is kind of flooding into my head. So we know if we are in fact eternal spirits, we don't have access to those memories.
No.
But I wonder if each successive time that we enter into this realm, that the memories, the reason why we don't have them is that because we have set them free in the other forms that we have created, however long we've been at this.
See, that's the weird thing that I see, is that causal body and that emotional body, they're attached to the akashic records, which is like, it's like your cloud, Wayne. It's got all of your lifetime stored in it, all within the DNA. It's got the codes of the ancestors. There's so much in that akashic library that's within the energy bodies of the soul. And I think that's why the soul might be so valuable, is because it has that attachment to the material realm through this cloud.
It's interesting, yeah, because the soul is the focus of every religion.
And I think the soul might.
And in fact, I could say that it's the same thing for every political party. I mean, you know, as we all went up through, well, I didn't actually get to experience the whole high school thing, but as I understand, there were cliques, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I played sports as a couple of years, but I knew making the team, junior varsity for myself, you know, there was this clique, you know, there was this bond that, you know, this is interesting because, again, I don't see the spirit now, you know, in certain fear matrix, they say, well, your soul can experience the second death.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, when you think about this, well, if that's the case, if you're wiped out, who the hell's going to care? Your memory is gone, man. I mean, it's like,
that's
we all know about Trina and Wayne when they had who the hell is Trina and Wayne?
Right. That's the thing. And I do think that is an option. And that's when you literally, you go back into the all again. You don't remember any of your identity at all. There's no ID left in you. The ID is gone, which is the basically the server ID locations and all the different places you could potentially be in. So
Delaney Pearl Jones says being born dead. And that is so, I think that is so factual, because I think that's exactly, and it's weird because I keep saying, well, why would I come into the living dead zone? Maybe we're trying to change this. I don't know, because, you know,
we are, Wayne, because I think this was meant to be a garden, a paradise, a vacation place, a place to learn and create in physicality, because there's a delay here. So it would be a place to learn how to make mistakes in a safe place, but somehow it got hijacked. So
I'm right there with you. It got hijacked.
Yeah,
because this freaking place is crazy.
Absolutely. But we can heal it through because the love frequency vibration, guess what that also does? It restores the DNA.
Yeah.
So that means the frequency, if the DNA codes weren't expressing in their proper frequency code, that means that frequency, when it hits it, it would destroy it and take it back to the original blueprint. So this is powerful because this is DNA coding and rebooting from original source code. That's profound. So love, that's what say love can heal anything. That's
it can.
Yeah. If the frequency is not right, love can destroy it and it goes back to its organic code. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hello, Cheryl Callahan. How are you doing? Come from Massachusetts up there. Red Honey 9 says, I only did 2 years. Then got my high school equivalency and graduated a year early. Got the hell out of there, didn't you?
Yeah, my daughter did that too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but I did get to go to 2 high school proms. I mean, you know, so I guess that counts for something. It's so great. You know, I have to go back and read the chat room because there's so many great comments.
The deer video that I saw with the mom on the back deck in the woods, he saw the same video. It was awesome.
What was that?
When the baby was crying and the deer came out of the woods, was like, hey, what's going on? You know, and the mother's like, no, this is my baby, you know, but no, the deer came straight out.
The deer responded to the cry. Yeah.
It is. boom, came straight out of the woods. Yep.
I mean, and it's like anytime I hear like a dog that's been hurt, they
Yes.
have that yelp, that cry to them, and
Yes.
and it's like I want to lay my hands on them, and because uh, this is interesting.
Much love and favor, Deborah.
Everybody out,
Love you guys.
because it for me it's a mystery because in this year 2021 I lost both my parents, and so that makes me technically an orphan now.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah, if your parents pass on, you are technically an orphan. But it's my wondering now, as because I didn't know my parents, is that where they are in their journey. I mean, because I didn't know where they stood spiritually.
You know what's the funny part? You know them. You know them intimately. And
Oh
when you
yeah, my
out,
mom's visited, so
it's not just that, you've been with them for probably eons of time. Eons of
Now
time.
that's an interesting aspect. Do you think that runs with all children parents?
Not all, because some of them come in for specific genetic codes. So they will go into maybe not a familiar as much for a specific genetic, but one of the parents will be one of those groups that they have been with for eons of time. So yeah, I do. I think even our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, all the people in our family, they're part of our genetic, like that cloud. They're in your cloud, and that cloud is an eternal memory bank of all that ever was. So you don't ever, once you see the picture, it's like you remember all of it. So it's in your cloud. It's in your personal data bank, which is it's basically your ID frequency code, and it's coded with sound and color. That's what
I
I
could
see.
dig that.
Yeah, that's what I see.
I see. John Price says I skipped high school prom for the Kansas concert at Gulf Coast Coliseum. Is that in Biloxi? Where was the Gulf Coast Coliseum? Is that in Alabama? Where was that?
Yeah.
Hello, Jules. How are you doing, my dear? There's so many people sending y'all favor and protection down under. Yes. Jenny said, I feel your dad's passing. Yeah. I think so too, Jenny. And I invited Jenny to come on Friday, so if she
Yay.
can, I think that'll be fun. This is what I love about this group. It has the opportunity to get points of view that, in my opinion, are very well sounded in their expression, because this is an enlightening Biloxi, Mississippi. That's what I thought, John. I've actually been to that Coliseum. But anyway, yeah, I've been to Biloxi, Mississippi. And have you ever been to Biloxi, Mississippi, Trina?
I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite the place. I think it kind of went, depending on your opinion, when they put the casinos in. But anyway, I digress. This is a very enlightened group. I mean,
Sure.
There are some spiritual masters in this group that you learn from. It's amazing.
For us to be all together and focusing on this higher exploration of spirituality, soul, what does it mean to be human? What is this matrix? What is all of this? I mean, most people go through this lifetime and never really care about any of these questions. All of us who are here have already passed many, many initiations.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Spot on.
That is in the akashic records, which is now in our DNA. And we vibrate those frequencies, and that's what helps us remember or reconnect to this information. So we are in our own essence a true family, a family of consciousness, a family of thought, color, vibration, and desire to know truth and know more about what we are. So we are a group, and our group is held together by a code of light and color and sound. And
I'm convinced that this group has been together
eons of time.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, literally, it's like, yeah, I think that's exactly what
So
has
it's like,
happened.
I
You
vibe
know,
with my tribe, Wayne.
you know? It's true. We do have a vibe here. And the thing about it is that, and it's so real. I mean, it
Yes,
really is. It's just,
because you feel
you
it.
know,
You
yeah.
feel it in your heart. Nothing's real until you feel it. And you can feel the love in this group. You can. It's palatable. You can
Gotten
feel
so
it.
many emails on that. They said this is a different group. You know, I
Yes,
said,
that
yeah, it is. You
we
know,
really do love each other, and
yeah,
we give room for each other, and
yeah.
we are accepting of each other and our different paths and ideas and struggles and challenges. And you know what? All we're here is to help each other get through the humps and find your own divine way, because your way and my way should never look the same, because we can't create the fullness of creation if we do it all the same way. Our differences are our greatest strength.
Who was it that just? Give me 1 second here. I want to go back. Brandy. Brandy said Biloxi means the first people of the water.
Wow, very cool.
Is that French, Brandy? It sounds like it is French.
Yes,
I'm assuming that it is,
I
right?
think you're right.
Yeah. You know, parlez-vous français?
Oh, no.
It's
But I
like,
do know that means, do you speak French?
and you know what? I had this French teacher that just sucked. I mean, oh man, it is, teaching. My approach is that if you make it fun, people learn.
Yes.
You make it laborious, people are going, I'm out of here, man. I'm
Yes.
gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, you add the joy or the love, it brings in the rainbow of color, and that lights people up. And this is it. It's like they keep telling me, it's like, really focus on being the 528 frequency. It's kind of that simple. It's like y'all get so wrapped up in the details, but like, we've given you the code. It's like, be here, be love, emanate love, raise your vibrations, which is ultimately, if you're in 528, that's really high
Yeah.
vibration.
Be here and don't be square. Be an octagon.
Yes,
I don't know. Ryder
absolutely.
Lee is in the house. How you
Hi,
doing,
Ryan.
Raised by Giants? Much love to you, brother. Kaz
Hi,
Hawk, how
Ryan.
you doing, hon? So good to see you. Sending love. And I just, elderberries. And I mean, there's just a full house here. This
Hugging
is,
you all.
Jay, good to see y'all. Man, I'll tell you what. This has been a conversation that, I keep all of our programs because you never know what the future is. And, if
Absolutely.
we
I'm
ever had
so
to,
grateful you do, Wayne. I'm so grateful. Thank you for that,
yes,
my friend. Thank you.
well,
Because this
we,
time that we share and your wisdom that you share is some of my most treasured gifts of this whole entire journey I've been on. And that's truth. Truth.
make me cry,
Makes me
Hey,
cry.
Mary Wins, much love, dear. Good to see you. But you know what? When you speak those type of words, they edify my spirit, and they're healing
True.
words,
Yeah. It's
and
in the
that's,
love. You feel the love, because I
oh
feel it
yeah,
for you. And
yeah.
everybody here, this has been the best part of my life. So thank you all.
I am so much richer for it. These last number of years have been very difficult in the ways that I haven't expressed, but I will tell you this: it was the energy and the support of this group
Yeah.
that it's phenomenal. And if you plug into it, it revives you.
Yes. When
You
I
know,
see this tribe, I literally see literally that it's so powerful. They're basically like angels. The light is so bright.
they are.
It's so powerful. When I
Mhm.
see this tribe come together, it's mind blowing what I see.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a force to be reckoned with. I will tell you that.
A lot of people have had some struggles. He's like, and it's true. But what amazes me is that this group, and many people listen to it on replay, and you know who you are. Um, we have faced immense challenges, hurdles that seemed almost incomparable to conquer.
Yes.
But it's amazing what this group and the knowledge that we learn, the little pieces here, the little pieces there, how collectively it helps us it's amazing. I mean, these angels, where prosperity is concerned,
Yeah,
these angels, go ahead, hon.
that was so much of the connecting the rainbow to me, connecting the heaven and earth. It's connecting those higher subtle frequencies to the material realm where they can interact more easily and blend more easily. And love, that high vibration, it automatically destroys a lot of the lower vibrations because it just cannot be in its presence. So I think it's like there's a key here, and it's about the simplicity of it. To heal the world is to flood it with love. So
Mm.
we're gonna do this.
I'm telling you, the feeling, and I'm reading in the chat room, is holy cow. I mean, it's like Woodstock. That's all I got to say. It's like, man, peace and love, and then we're doing it el natural. So you know
Yes,
what I mean is that
yes.
no type of outer influence. It's just here. You know, yeah, it's wow. And someone said something about Ramadan.
Oh,
No, it's Hanukkah. It's not Ramadan, is it? No,
I
it's
don't know.
Hanukkah. Is Hanukkah over?
I don't know.
I know I'm
Terrible.
usually up on that. It was early this year. That's what kind of threw me off. It was really
Oh,
early.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm hearing from, people now who have the insight to what they're seeing next year. And one person said they see an angry ocean between two shores.
Emotion. Hmm.
They're speaking of war.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that might be a
Yeah.
very, yeah. But you know what though? Um, again, this can completely be completely eradicated if we flood it with peace.
As I said, if this group, and some of you are really good writers, think about this. I mean, every word that we speak that goes forth out of our mouth will not return unto us void, but it will prosper in the thing for which it was sent.
And
I
the power
mean,
of the pen, writing it down is
oh yeah,
to bring
yeah.
in that energy to make it manifest, because it's double energy when you write it and you speak it and you think it and you feel it. That's all four corners of creation. You got earth, air, fire, water, and ether. All of it's there.
Do
All
you
of it.
know where I learned that from? I mean, decades ago, because I used to write business plans, but in the minor prophet in the Old Testament, in the book of Habakkuk, Habakkuk 2:1 says, 3:1, excuse me, it says, write the vision down, though it tarry, it shall come to pass. And
Does too.
it
I
does.
tried this. I drew my house and it manifested. It even had my name on it.
It
Whoa, it was
works.
weird. It really does work. I had to be in a lottery. 200 people wanted my land. I drew the first ticket. And you know what I went into? When they gave me my lottery ticket, you know what I wrote on it? I already have.
I love
I
this.
had it first. I already have. I
My,
didn't focus on getting there. I focused on it's mine. It's done. I saw it and I made it come to pass. And I did it with the house, but the view and the gifts on top of the vision were way better than my own. So thank
they
you.
always
They're
are.
way smarter than I am, because wow. Yeah. So no, this stuff really does work, guys. It really, really does. But all that stuff is so stupid when it comes down to the power of knowing to love yourself and to feel love and be loved. Stuff does not do that for you. The only thing that does that for you is something that has substance, and that substance is filled with love. It's that simple.
And I think we can do this. I think we're up for the challenge.
I think that's why we came.
Yeah. So we just have to put the theme to it. I mean, I know that the world is on the brink, but you know what? It doesn't say that it's over the edge yet. I think that there can be a group of humans, and there don't need to be a bunch of them, that can change something so powerful in the ethereal that the opposing force goes, oh crap, they figured it out.
Absolutely.
they,
And
we're in deep trouble now. They've actually figured this out.
absolutely. And absolutely. But you know what? This is how I saw that we win. It was literally by that was how it was done. It was by making it what we want to see and not accepting any other vision and holding tight to our vision and flooding that vision with love and compassion and kindness and all the things that you want to see and all the positive vibrations. The more that is focused on, and two, playing 528 frequency, playing 432, play these beautiful frequencies in the environment, flood the world with these frequencies, the Oregon pyramids, all of these things is the antidote for all of the things that are sick or diseased in this world. So we start.
And I think the world's soul sick. I really do.
It is because of the frequencies we've been fed for the past 30 years. It's not even the 440. That was the mandatory standard sound set that all music is recorded to and set by now, produces agitation, stress, anxiety, insomnia, on and on and on.
I love this. Delaney Pearl says, my whole city has been and is still being restored to its full glory. Janesville, Wisconsin. That's what I'm talking about.
Love it, Delaney.
That is what I am talking about. And we're strong here. And you know, this is a time for everyone in the group. If you want to take a leadership position, come on in. We have multiple platforms. We have Ryder Lee here, Raised by Giants. I owe Chris an email from 3 or 4 weeks ago from Forbidden Knowledge. We have the Andromeda 7, Celestial Gateway. We got the Milky Way Soul Tribe. We have Nina. We have Jenny. This is what we're talking about. And those voices will expand to other voices.
Absolutely. And knowing, guys, that you are the phoenix, you are the rising from the ashes, because guess what? When you activate the love frequency, it destroys everything that doesn't need to be there. And the only thing that stands is what should be there. So with that is the rising from the ashes. So it can go into negative connotations, but it also can be the most healing, beneficial, purification, golden fire that we need upon this planet right now. So focus on fire, golden frequencies, which are the frequencies of the angels, and 528 frequency. Let's send and flood this place with love. Love, love, love.
I see, you know, the future is already the future, and it means that all of us have already passed. We've already passed to the other side. But I saw this one video of a security camera that was in a person's house. And it was real interesting because the couple were well into their 80s and they were about to pass. But what's interesting was that their house was being flooded by what all I could call were these huge groups of orbs. And I often see that this group on the other side, once we get shed of these physical bodies, I think we're going to be doing a lot of missions together, because that's what I see groups of spirits doing.
Absolutely, Wayne. And that's why I'm so grateful that you're creating Wayne's World and the planet, because literally, I saw when probably back in 2010, I saw a book and I saw that there were actual religions started after the stuff that we talk about in these groups on YouTube, that these were actually the future religions, and that there were actually discoveries of planetary bodies, and they were being named after us as the keys.
Well, that is far out.
Yeah, so
I dig that.
Seriously. This stuff is forever.
That's far out.
Yeah, it makes a difference in your frequency and your light. It's seen. They know. It's in you. You don't have to be like in front of a camera like Wayne or I. It don't matter. You guys are so on the radar. So your light is super, super visible. And most of you that are getting hit hard and struggling with life, just giggle, shift the frequency, laugh, and know that you're targeted because you're so bright, you're so powerful. So take it as a badge of honor instead of like a beaten, because boy, it feels like a beaten. But take it as a badge of honor and stand up stronger and straighter and turn up some music and laugh. Because boy, that's how to break that crap out of your field. It shatters it like broken glass. So bust it away from you and just keep going. Because you guys, you are the warriors of light.
What laughter is from the heart, it's a
Yes.
dragon slayer. It
Yes,
is a
it is.
sword that, man, and they'll run for him. Once a spirit has been hit by laughter,
Yes.
they don't come back. I mean, it's like,
Yes.
ow.
Yes, or if you just genuinely want to hug them and go, boy, you're having a bad day. Just let me hug you.
Come on in here.
Yeah, they're like, nope.
Listen, there have been times where, that would probably, and I'm going to put that down because I never thought about it. They're those spirits, they need hugs too.
Well, yeah, and it's so funny too.
I mean,
This is funny, Wayne, but this is one of my favorite things. It's like they come at me and I'm like, thank you for showing me your fear. Now let me love you up. Run. It's gone. It's seriously, thank you for showing me your fear. Because literally, if it's in your reality, you're projecting it. So you need to understand it's yours anyways. So when I see those things coming, I know somehow I have manifested that in my reality. So I take full responsibility for it by saying, thank you for showing me your fear. Now let's hug and kiss and make up.
And here's the song y'all need to be playing in the background. Al Green, Love and Happiness.
Yes.
Love and happiness.
Yes.
All right, everybody. This has been an hour that's just gone by like too fast.
It always does.
It always does. I mean, it just,
does.
wow.
Yes.
That's all I can say. Wow. Yeah. So this is Giving Tuesday. I've left some links down there. Our friend David could still use the help. And if, like I said, if you know people that are struggling, hey, the best part of Trina is that when people learn to receive, they complete the connection.
Yes. And there's, yes, the greater you can receive, the more ability you will have to give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've been out there where you depend on the kindness of strangers.
Yes.
And yeah. And many of us have been ministered to by angelics that we never knew were angels to begin with.
Oh, be aware. You may be entertaining angels unaware. I tell you, I think that's true. I saw one a while ago on the corner with those big blue eyes. I was like, oh boy, snap. I saw one. I felt her a quarter mile away, Wayne. I felt her a quarter mile
believe
away
that.
before I saw her. I literally felt her. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Then I never
and she felt
again.
you.
Yeah, and she's never again. And I gave her $10 bill, I think, or 2 5s. 2 5s. Your number.
We'll have to talk about this because it is interesting because I've given away money and food and what have you. And I knew that they weren't actual human. You know, when they look you in the eye and they say, this gift came from your heart, it shall be received the same way.
Yes.
We'll get into that another time, but this is it's a real happening, and it really is. All right, everybody, we love all of you. Thank you. Y'all are just the best. You honor us, and thank you again, Soul Tribe. Y'all are the best. And Trina, I can't say enough for you.
Just sending you so much hugs. Oh, just love you up.
Okay, man.
Love you up.
It's like in the movie Dennis the Menace, you know, when he saw all the blue hairs and he goes, peak chinchers. So much love. Oh my goodness. Relived that as a kid, and I just didn't know that, you know, peak pinchers, you know.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Much love to you.